Welcome back to Eyes on Wraith and Beyond, bringing you the latest news from around the world. On September 6, 2025, the Supreme Court delivered a landmark ruling that reshapes U.S. trade policy, striking down the sweeping tariffs imposed by the Trump administration. The court declared that only Congress, not the President, has the authority to levy significant taxes on imports, restoring a crucial constitutional balance. This decision means the government must refund over $100 billion in tariffs to American companies, acting as a massive economic stimulus. For consumers, this promises relief from years of higher prices on everyday goods. The ruling is rooted in the major questions doctrine, requiring clear congressional approval for major economic actions. Justice Kavanaugh summed it up: no one should have too much power. This marks a turning point, ending trade wars, restoring checks and balances, and ensuring trade policy is shaped by public debate, not executive fiat. Tariffs are taxes placed on goods that are brought into a country from abroad. When you hear about tariffs in the news, it means the government is charging extra money on products made in other countries. This makes those foreign products more expensive for American consumers and businesses. The idea is to encourage people to buy American-made goods instead, supporting local industries and jobs. When imported items cost more, shoppers are more likely to pick products made in the USA, which can help boost the economy at home. But there's a catch. When a US company imports goods, it pays the tariff up front. However, that extra cost doesn't just disappear, it's usually passed down the supply chain. By the time you're shopping for groceries or electronics, those higher costs have made their way into the prices you see on the shelf. That's why tariffs on things like steel, microchips, or even everyday items can make a wide range of products more expensive. From the cars we drive to the soda cans we buy, tariffs can quietly raise prices across the board. Even small price hikes can add up over time, squeezing family budgets and making it harder to afford everything from groceries to household essentials. For many families, these increases are felt every time they shop. Recently, the Supreme Court's decision to end certain tariffs is expected to bring relief. By removing these extra taxes, costs for businesses and consumers alike should go down, making everyday goods more affordable. As tariffs disappear, companies pay less for the goods they import. Ideally, these savings will trickle down to shoppers, leading to lower prices at the store and more money in your pocket. For most families, it's almost like getting a tax cut. With lower prices, there's more money left over for essentials, savings, or even a few extras, helping families stretch their budgets further. The biggest winners? Households with tight budgets, who feel every price increase the most. For them, even a small drop in prices can make a real difference in daily life. The court's decision reignites the debate between protectionism and free trade. Protectionists argue tariffs defend local jobs and industries from foreign competition, especially in tough times. They see tariffs as a shield for workers and a way to ensure national security. Free trade advocates counter that open markets lower prices, boost innovation, and make everyone better off by letting countries specialize. They argue that competition drives efficiency, and that lower tariffs mean more choices and savings for consumers. While some jobs may be lost to foreign competition, free traders believe the overall gains, lower prices, more exports, and economic growth, outweigh the costs. The Supreme Court's ruling doesn't pick a side, it simply says Congress must decide the path forward. The most lasting impact of the Supreme Court's ruling is restoring Congress's authority over trade. For years, presidents used broad laws to impose tariffs with little oversight, peaking during the Trump era. The court's decision reaffirms that only Congress can impose major tariffs, making trade policy subject to open debate and public scrutiny. Now, any significant tariff must go through the full legislative process, hearings, debates, and votes. This shift strengthens checks and balances, ensuring trade decisions reflect the will of the people, not just the executive branch. Presidents retain some emergency powers, but sweeping trade actions now require congressional approval. The debate over tariffs moves from the Oval Office to the halls of Congress, promising more transparency and stability. It's a return to democratic principles in setting economic policy. The economic effects of the Supreme Court's decision will be swift and widespread, touching nearly every corner of American life. This landmark ruling is set to reshape the way businesses operate and how consumers experience the marketplace, ushering in a new era of opportunity and growth. Consumers will see lower prices on everything from electronics to cars as tariffs vanish and competition heats up. Everyday essentials from groceries to household goods are expected to become more affordable, putting more money back into the pockets of families. With increased competition among retailers, shoppers can look forward to better deals, more choices, and improved quality across a wide range of products. Businesses, especially small and mid-sized ones, will get a huge boost from the $100 billion in tariff refunds, money they can use to invest, hire, and grow. For many entrepreneurs, this windfall means the chance to expand operations, upgrade equipment, or launch new products. It also opens the door for hiring more workers, offering better wages, and strengthening local economies. The end of unpredictable, executive-driven tariffs brings stability, making it easier for companies to plan and invest for the long term. With clearer rules and fewer sudden changes, businesses can confidently map out their futures, secure in the knowledge that the playing field is more predictable and fair. Lower costs for imported materials will help U.S. manufacturers compete globally and could spark a revival in domestic production. Companies that once struggled with high input costs can now innovate, expand their product lines, and reach new markets both at home and abroad. While some industries once protected by tariffs may face new competition, most economists expect the overall impact to be positive. The transition may be challenging for a few sectors, but the broader economy stands to benefit from increased efficiency, innovation, and consumer choice. The ruling injects confidence and capital into the economy, setting the stage for growth. Investors are already responding with optimism, and businesses are preparing to seize new opportunities in a more open and competitive environment. For families and businesses alike, it's a win for stability and prosperity. As the effects ripple outward, Americans can look forward to a future marked by greater economic security, more jobs, and a renewed sense of optimism about what's possible. The Supreme Court's decision sends a strong message to the world. The U.S. is recommitting to fair, rules-based trade. The end of unilateral tariffs should halt the cycle of trade wars and retaliation that hurt American exporters and global supply chains. Countries like China and the EU are expected to roll back their own tariffs, reopening markets for U.S. goods, especially for farmers and manufacturers. The ruling restores trust in the U.S. as a reliable trading partner and strengthens international institutions like the WTO. A more predictable U.S. trade policy encourages foreign investment and global cooperation. American exporters, from agriculture to industry, stand to benefit as barriers fall and markets reopen. The decision helps repair alliances and positions the U.S. as a leader in global economic stability. It's more than a legal shift, it's a diplomatic reset. With tariffs falling, American exporters finally get a level playing field abroad. For years, U.S. businesses have struggled to compete in foreign markets, often facing steep barriers that made American goods more expensive and less attractive to buyers overseas. Now, with these trade obstacles coming down, the door is open for American products to reach new customers around the world. Retaliatory tariffs that once priced U.S. goods out of foreign markets are expected to disappear, boosting sales for everything from motorcycles to bourbon. American brands, long recognized for their quality and innovation, can now compete on merit, rather than price alone. This shift is expected to benefit not just large corporations but also small and mid-sized exporters looking to expand their reach. Farmers, hit hard by trade wars, will regain access to key markets, reviving rural economies. Crops like soybeans, corn, and wheat, once caught in the crossfire of international disputes, can now flow more freely to buyers abroad. This renewed demand promises to bring stability and growth back to farming communities across the country. Manufacturers benefit too, as lower costs for imported parts make their products more competitive at home and overseas. With supply chains running more smoothly and input costs dropping, American factories can ramp up production, invest in new technology, and hire more workers. This creates a ripple effect, strengthening the entire manufacturing sector. Some industries that relied on tariff protection will face challenges, but most will gain from cheaper inputs and new export opportunities. While certain sectors may need to adapt to increased competition, the overall benefits of open markets and lower costs are expected to outweigh the drawbacks, driving innovation and efficiency. The transition won't be painless for everyone, but the overall outlook is positive: more jobs, more exports, and a stronger industrial base. Communities across America can look forward to new opportunities as businesses expand and invest in their workforce. The Supreme Court's decision empowers American industry to innovate and grow in a global marketplace. By removing barriers, it encourages companies to develop new products, enter new markets, and compete on a world stage. It's a fresh start for U.S. exporters and the communities that depend on them. As the nation embraces this new era, the promise of growth, prosperity, and renewed global leadership is within reach for American industry. Ultimately, the Supreme Court's ruling is about restoring democracy to trade policy. Congress now holds the reins, ensuring trade decisions are made through open debate and public input, not executive orders. This approach allows for smarter, more targeted trade policies that balance protection, innovation, and global cooperation. Lawmakers will have to weigh competing interests and craft solutions that reflect the complexity of the modern economy. The process may be slower, but it's more transparent and legitimate. The ruling is a victory for checks and balances, ensuring no single branch holds too much power. As America navigates a changing world, its trade policy will be shaped by the collective wisdom of its people and their representatives.